Hello, Stephan here with Liquidity with a video on why the name for Standard German is High German. Why is it called High German?
Liquidity.
First of all, why it is not called High German. So High German, or Hochdeutsch, which is the German word for High German, is the standard dialect for German. It's the standard form of German. And it is not called High German because of people being high when they're speaking German. It is also not called High German because somehow you are higher in the hierarchy of Germans when you speak High German, although that is a common misconception. It is called High German simply because the early forms of written German originated in higher elevations, in southern Germany, actually. So even though southern German dialects are today not really considered standard German dialects and are sometimes perceived with certain misgivings and even suspicions by people from especially northern Germany, the origins of German literature are in higher elevations in southern Germany. And there are a couple of reasons for that. In the 8th and 9th century, much of Western and also Central Europe was dominated by the Frankish Empire, or the Frankish Kingdom. Charlemagne brought the Frankish Empire to its largest extension. He was, in fact, king of what is today Germany, France, the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, Switzerland, Austria, northern Italy, and some other areas, although those areas are sometimes were called marches or vassal states sometimes. The Frankish Empire was eventually divided up by three of Charlemagne's grandsons. And the eastern portion eventually became basically the beginning of what we see as Germany today. The western part was the beginning of what later would become France. In fact, France still has the name of the Franks in it. And the middle part did not fare quite as well, even though it was the most prosperous part of the Frankish Empire. But we can see some remnants of that today. We have countries like the Netherlands and Belgium, Luxembourg, Switzerland. Actually, all four of these countries are well-to-do countries, relatively wealthy countries, even though they're relatively small. There are a couple of reasons why the southern part of what is Germany today, and also Austria and Switzerland, were more advanced, or were more literate, if you will, than northern Germany in the early Middle Ages. And that was simply because these areas had been in touch with other cultures for a much longer time. These were areas that had been populated by Celtic people before Germanic people, and then the Romans came in, and the Romans occupied a good chunk of what is today Germany, and they administered it. They brought with them the Roman alphabet, language. They brought with them the Latin language, of course, which is still very influential in German today. Another reason why these areas were so influential was because these were the beginnings of two of Europe's main rivers. The Danube has its source in the Black Forest. The Rhine River has its source in the Alps. And these rivers were influential, highly influential in the Middle Ages for transportation. There weren't very many good roads. Yes, the Romans had built roads, but they were obviously not maintained as well as you would think. And also it was more dangerous to travel on a road than being on a river. So these areas in the Middle Ages, these areas that comprise today Austria, southern Germany, and actually eastern France and northern Switzerland, were more advanced in the Middle Ages than many other parts of what is Germany today. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful or interesting, please give it a like, and if you haven't done so, please consider subscribing to my channel.